welcome back for another video. Lots to discuss in today's video, where we'll take a look at how the team's shaping up for double Gameweek 20, as well as potential transfers and the triple captainship. If you haven't watched the Gameweek 20 players to buy video, that'll be on screen at the end, give that a watch after. An important one this week with the double Gameweek projections in mind. Starting with a quick look back at how Gameweek 19's going. At the time of recording, Kepa, Cucurella and Andreas are still yet to play, and it looks like there'll be no rank change, with 47 points as it stands, slightly above average. Shaw was the transfer in, which couldn't have gone much better as he put up a 15-pointer, and the Man United double Gameweek announced after. A decision was made to start Gabriel over Trippier, which was a gamble considering how good Trippier's been. The idea was that if Newcastle could concede, which was about 81% likely on the bookies' odds, plus if Arsenal could keep a clean sheet, then it would have been a huge rank gain. Worth a try, no real regrets. No regrets in not buying Mitrovic either, quite fortunate as a non-owner to see him yellow carded and miss the second game. Though in the end, a Haaland blank was disappointing, as that would have been a massive rank gain had it come off. It looks like an exciting Gameweek 20 ahead though, with 2 free transfers banked and 6 players with a double Gameweek as it stands. So let's take a look at how the team's shaping up. Drink a shot every time I say double Gameweek in this one. In goal, Ederson has his double Gameweek against Man United away and Tottenham home. On reflection, very happy to have picked him over Cancelo, which looked like a much tighter call back in Gameweek 17. This season, Man City's 12.4 expected goals conceded is the best in the league. Arsenal was second with 15 xGC. If Man City can keep one clean sheet, that would be a decent enough return, and ideally in the Tottenham game, since we're tripled up on Man United. The back three is Shaw, Trippier and Cucurella. Shaw's had an impressive resurgence. Since the restart, he has more points than any other player with 32, Trippier's second with 28 and Rashford third on 27. Ten Hag's done a very good job shoring up the Man United defence, though Man City will be a very tough game. They last met back in Gameweek 9, which ended 6-3 to Man City with the famous Haaland 23-pointer. We saw Shaw return to his natural left-back position last Gameweek, which is good for potential attacking threat. Before that, he had been filling in at left centre-back since the restart. Cancelo's a headache for millions of owners. If you're one of those, the downgrade to Shaw is definitely one option, and then you can use that 2 mil elsewhere, perhaps even Darwin to Kane. With Trippier's last tough fixture for a while out of the way, he's a permanent starter in the team again. Perhaps that Liverpool fixture on the horizon in Gameweek 24 will be another week we bench him for another try at a rank gain over the millions that start him. His leadership has transformed Newcastle's defence. Last season Newcastle were 13th best for expected goals conceded, this season they're 3rd. Last season they had an expected goals conceded every 57 minutes, and this season every 104 minutes, so exactly twice as good. Cucurella may leave the team. There's speculation of a potential double Gameweek 21 for Liverpool and Chelsea, which might be announced before the deadline. Though the longer time drags on, the less likely it seems, as it's not dependent on other cup results before confirmation, which was the reason that the Man United and Crystal Palace double Gameweek got announced very late. We'll talk more about transfer plans later. The midfield is De Bruyne, Rashford, Almiron and Saka. De Bruyne gets the vice captaincy, a massive shame that he's not put up a return since the restart. The intention was to have him from Gameweek 17 to be a transfer ahead of the curve and hope that he can keep pace with Salah. He scored 6 points over that run to Salah's 16, so 10 points lost but a transfer saved. Hard to say whether we'd have taken a -4 this week with one less transfer, but at very best it's 6 points lost, which isn't good. Things will get very interesting if Liverpool get their double Gameweek 21 though, as we need to sell him then for Salah before reversing that transfer in Gameweek 23. This would give us a big edge, as we could make one transfer this week and then take 2 into 20. Rashford's returned in every game since the restart, 3 goals and 1 assist. One thing we've not even talked about yet is Man United's potential double Gameweek 22, which looks like it has been provisionally arranged if Man United and Leeds don't draw in the FA Cup 4th round. At the time of recording, Leeds still need to play their replay against Cardiff, and if they do progress, both teams need to win or lose for a double Gameweek 22. This is one factor to bear in mind of your transfers. Rashford, Martial and Shaw all very good transfers this week. Bruno Fernandes as well if you want a more expensive punt. Almiron's home to Fulham. There is the option to sell him for Zaha, which we've got exact money for, but Fulham at home is a great fixture for Newcastle. Fulham are worse in the league for expected goal conceded this season, and they've allowed a big chance every 30 minutes. Saka completes the midfield. He went off hobbling in the FA Cup game against Oxford, which ended 3-0 to Arsenal. Post-match, Arteta said he's fine, so no concerns there. We'll keep an eye out for the press conferences and training pics for the peace of mind. Arsenal's double game week 23 is also on the horizon. We're doubled up with Gabriel at the moment, and a third player will need to come in for that double, likely Odegaard or perhaps Martinelli. Smith Rowe did make his return from injury in the FA Cup, which is primarily competition for Martinelli though. He can also play through the middle as competition for Odegaard, but Arsenal have Vieira in that position too. The front three is Haaland, Martial and Darwin. So Haaland gets the captaincy obviously. I've been going back and forth on triple captaincy. I'll explain all the pros and cons and where my thinking is at the moment, but let me know if you'd like a breakaway video on this one. First of all, his double game week spread out nicely, Saturday and Thursday, a good rest between games. On top of that, Man City trail Arsenal by 5 points as it stands, so they cannot afford to drop points, so Haaland looks completely nailed for minutes. The same cannot be said about double game week 23 or other double game weeks further down the line. Potentially double game week 29, 34 and or 37. In my opinion, the double game week 23 is equally good to this one, so if you don't triple captain him now, you don't use it then either. If Man City reach the League Cup final, they could double against Liverpool and Bournemouth. If Man City or West Ham reach the FA Cup quarter-finals, then Man City could double against West Ham and Fulham. Or likewise, if Brighton reach the FA Cup semi-finals, then City could double against Chelsea and Brighton. It's a bit confusing, but beyond the 2 double game weeks we know of, there are potential double game weeks later in the season, could be as many as 3. What we cannot say for certain is how Haaland's minutes will look in those later double game weeks, and whether Pep will be rotating more during the Champions League schedule, which is one cup that still eludes him at Man City. It's the minutes risk at the trade-off of a better double game week later on. For now, the triple captain is not active. I'll read all your comments, so let me know where your head's at with the triple captain chip. If you went Mitrovic to Martial last game week, you might be tempted to reverse the transfer. He's not been that great this season, but 6.6 mil is a cheap ticket to the Man United attack in a double game week, plus the potential double game week 22. Man United look to be signing Weghorst, who will likely be an impact sub on for Martial. This probably won't affect his minutes any more than now, as he's been coming off early every game anyway. And lastly, Darwin completes the 11. Very typical to see him score a well-taken goal in the FA Cup. His underlying numbers have been unbelievable and he has been due a goal. Since the restart, he's taken 16 shots, 12 in the box, registered 7 big chances, 2.7 xG, but no goals in the league. I like the look of the Brighton fixture, but there is the option to sell him this week, more on that shortly. On the bench it's Kepa, Andreas, Gabriel and Patterson. Hopefully by the time the game week's wrapped up, a clean sheet from Kepa against Fulham is a parting gift. Chelsea play Fulham again in a couple of game weeks time, which will be the next time we use him. There's a couple of directions being considered in the transfer plans. It will depend on whether there's a Liverpool and Chelsea double game week 21 or not. We've got 1.5 mil in the bank, so on the off chance we get the double game week 21, then a simple Patterson to Doherty transfer is a good option. Doherty's been getting the starts recently and he even scored last game week. It's a bad double game week for Spurs admittedly, but he can score in any fixture to make up for a wiped clean sheet. This would allow us to roll the second transfer and take Darwin into double game week 21 if he gets it, with a view to also selling De Bruyne for Salah. If no double game week announcement comes, then a more aggressive set of transfers being considered, which is Darwin to Kane and Saka to Odegaard. Odegaard actually has more points than Saka over the season and also a higher expected goal involvement for 1.4 mil cheaper. So it'd be a minor upgrade, perhaps a bit sideways, but it does get us Kane for the double game week, bringing us up to 7 double game week players. It's been a really tough season, so this is a very tempting one as a more aggressive play into the double. Let me know what your transfer plans are, I'll read all your comments. I'm conscious of the potential double game week 22 for Man United and Leeds, and of course the locked in double game week 23. If Leeds do double with United in 22, then Rodrigo looks like a good transfer nearer the time. But also in 23 we do need to bring in a third Arsenal player, so that's potentially 2 booked in transfers already. It's never ideal to have so many booked in transfers because then you can't afford any other issues in your team or you're taking hits. Thanks for watching, and before you go please drop the video a like and subscribe for more content every game week this season to help you improve your rank. See you soon for the next one.